There's a great book called The Dip by one of my all-time heroes. His name is Seth Godin.
Okay.
This guy he's my favorite author in terms of like for somebody who's like an entrepreneur, somebody trying to achieve goals. And this guy
Is it sort of like encouragement lit? Is
well,
it nonfiction
not as much encouragement.
I made that up, by the way. I don't know that that's
wait.
a
What did you
term.
call it?
Encouragement lit.
Encouragement lit. What is that combination of?
It's sort of like self-help, but
Encouragement lit.
you can do it kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
So it's a little less of that, and a little bit more of it's about taking action, not just like, hey, I have some good ideas. Okay, well,
Okay.
did you ship them? Did you?
Right.
How many? You thought of a cool idea for a product. How many of them did you sell this week?
Or produce or anything.
produce.
Did you do
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah.
Or did you just sit there
How
and
many
think
new
about it?
jokes did you write this month? How many new, you know what I mean? Like that kind of
Oh.
thing. Like actually, you have to measure art by shipping, not just by, I thought of something.
Well, it's...
And that includes
people
shipping
always-
is delivering a joke on stage. That's shipping.
Right. Yeah, that's so he calls it shipping because it's. I mean, whenever anyone says, I have a great idea for a movie or a play or a joke or a thing, you're like, did you write it down? Is the first step to I have a great idea for a novel. Have I written it? I
Right.
have not.
Right.
Then I don't have a great idea for a novel.
There's
have.
a video called Quieting the Lizard Brain. And you can go, if you Google it, or it's actually on Vimeo, it's not on YouTube. And it's him talking about, it's kind of like a 10-minute video.
Same
summary.
guy,
It's
Seth
kind of like
Goddard?
a TED Talk. Yeah,
Okay.
Seth Godin.
Yeah. Godin.
It's kind of like a TED Talk. And he's talking about the Wachowski brothers who made The Matrix.
Okay.
And how they said, like, when they moved to LA, they were like, they figured out that it's really easy to think of a great, like, amazing idea for a movie. It's really easy to do that. But you know what's really hard? To actually make the movie.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. How many people do we know that have fantastic ideas for movies?
Sure.
But then
And even
those are a
less.
dime a dozen.
Right. And a movie, you're going to need a couple hundred people to help you, or at least 3.
Yeah.
And
Or no. Yeah. Yeah. You need people to help you. You don't necessarily need, like, you can find ways to make that happen, even if you don't have the funding. There's all kinds of things you can do.
right, there's orchestrating of stuff that can happen to make it at least at some level. I mean, you think about the South Park guys who animated that thing, and then for some reason, I mean, and part of it, of course, is that George Clooney saw it, and then he passed it around at Christmas, and then, somebody said, "Oh, George Clooney's cool. I do find this funny. How do we hand these two guys a giant bag of money?"
Yeah, but they kept making stuff. If it wasn't George Clooney, it would have been someone else because they were going to keep making stuff until it got out there.
And they would have been perfectly, in my opinion, I'm perfectly happy just continuing to make stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, if someone eventually cares, that would be awesome. But until that happens, I will continue to make stuff because that's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember where I heard this, but someone was saying like that the measurement of like how successful things are, like there's doing stuff for money and there's doing stuff for the love of the game. And then there's a blend.
Right.
The number one of those, take a guess. What's the most effective one? Doing it for money, doing it for the love of the game, and doing it for a blend.
Probably the blend. But the love of it, I would say the love of it, but it took me a long time to realize that I deserved to be fairly paid for stand-up comedy. And since I have decided that, I have been happier in my stand-up. I think I've been more creative, and I feel more respected and more able to try new stuff. Do they think it's the love?
From this thing that I can't remember where I heard it.
Right?
So,
I just
I'm
had one
sure-
of those.
I'm sure somebody can Google this. Apparently, the blend was last.